Okay, it is lecture number 11, unit number 1. So here we are going to talk about the error detection codes. Error detection and the correcting codes. Correcting code. So previously we have seen the codes that are available in digital electronics. The basic reason for representing the data in form of a code is the purpose of secure the code. Okay, so the third party don't want to should not see whatever the message that we are sending. So for example, whenever we are sending some information from point A to point B, from source to destination, this information must be transferred from one end to another end without having any problems. Okay, that means this message cannot be stolen by any other person. So it is better to represent in the form of a codes. Therefore, people, we are not able to identify that what is the code is. That is the one thing. Another thing is that it is easy to represent the data. So whenever it is get the receiver, whenever the data is observed at the receiver, so he is able to identify the data in the form of the codes is better than that of the binary digits. Okay. Now, whatever the way that we have coded the binary information, it is not that much sufficient. We have to give some more security or some more features to that particular code. Okay. So for that one, we are going to use the parity is the concept. Okay. So what we have to do is that now we would like to discuss about parity. So the parity, what do you mean by a parity? So it is a one bit of information, okay? So which can make or which can tells us the number of bits, the number of ones in a given message is even or odd, okay? The parity is the information will tells us that whether the given message is the message contains even number of ones or odd number of ones. Okay, ultimately we are sending the binary information only. Okay, so what it tells us that it tells us that in a given message, contains even number of ones, even number of ones, or odd number of ones. So therefore, this is the concept that we have to odd number of zeros. I'm sorry, odd number of ones. Okay, so this is very important for us. Okay, so this concept we have to involve in creating a code. Okay, so therefore what we have to do whenever I'm sending some message, for example, a message is nothing but a set of bits, right? 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 0, something like this. Okay, you have to add extra bit to it. We have to add extra bit to it. Okay, so that means in addition to the given data, we are going to add extra bit. So what we can call this is extra bit. Extra bit. So this extra bit is called parity bit. What we can call it as parity bit. This is called parity bit. So therefore, at the receiver end, you can say that, okay, dear, I'm sending the parity, even parity message or odd parity message I'm sending. Just you check that, identify the message. And if you find that I have originally sent the even parity information. If you find odd parity, that means I did not send the right, you did not receive right information, and let me know what kind of information that you have got, so that the sender will send again a good information to the receiver. Okay, receiver will identify that. Okay, if we got required parity, then you can say that the message is received correctly. Okay, so therefore, when we talk about the source and destination, for example, this is called a source where we can send the message. For example, the destination. Okay, so where the message is received there. Okay, suppose when he sends information to this one, he should send a reply back to the source for that by using acknowledge ACK or not ACK. So ACK stands for acknowledgement. Okay, so when the message is transferred here, the destination must receive a good data. Whatever the source person or sender is sending his message, the destination should take that information. So once he received, he sent the acknowledgement. Okay. Yeah, please don't forget about that. This message consisting of parity information. Okay. For example, he did not take the right information. Okay, according to the parity information, by looking at the parity information, if he is not able to get that information, he send the NACK. That is not non-acknowledgement information will send. Okay, so thereby the sender will send that information. Okay, so this is what the basic idea behind this one. The question is that how do we add the parity information to the message? So as we have seen that the message is actually one at the MSB side or leftmost position, I have placed the parity, but anybody can track this kind of information. There is no doubt at all. But securely or confidentially, we have to place this parity information in the given message. Okay, not only at the MSB, some other places also is possible to do that. Okay, so what we have to do like that, we will see. So before going to that one, what do you mean by even parity? For example, if I say that even parity, I'm calling as even parity, which means that, so for example, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1. So we have to count the number of ones in a given message. So therefore, in a given message, how many ones are there? 4 ones are there. So therefore, 4 is actually an even number, right? 4 ones. You can find here is that 4 ones, right? 4 ones we can find. So it is a even parity. So therefore, the parity is even parity is equal to 1. I can say that even parity is equal to 1. For example, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, something like that, right? So how many number of ones are here? 3 ones we can observe here. So what is these things we can call it as then? So we find that only 3 ones, therefore even parity is equal to 0. So something like this we can mention, but it is not necessary to write even is equal to 1, something like this. We can say that if number of ones is equal to even, then it's an even parity, or otherwise it is odd parity. This is called odd parity. Agreed? Okay, suppose I want to make the odd parity into even parity. So therefore, this is what, for example, I'm saying that this is my message. Okay, I want to send only even parity information. So then what I have to do then? I have to add 1 to this. I have to add 1 to this message. 1, and this is 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. So therefore, I have added 1 to this one so that it became, how it became? It became even parity information. So therefore, the number of ones became even now. So you can see that 4 ones it becomes. Okay, so therefore, by adding this extra bit, so we can make the messages even parity message or odd parity message. Right? Fine. So one of the important One of the important, so what is the basic reason for using the parity information? Securely, we want to send the information from source to the destination. That's what we have to remember. Okay, for secure purpose, for securely, we can send the information. So as I mentioned that, please remember that, as I mentioned that, the bit parity bit at the MSP is not at all suitable one. Instead, another approach is there. That means we have to create a code. Okay, whatever the message is there, that message must be represented in the form of a code. By adding this parity information, that code is called Hamming code. That one is called as Hamming code. What is this Hamming code? Let us now look at. So that means in this Hamming code, what we primary focus in this one, we want to generate the message code, or maybe a code which contains the parity information in between the messages, right? So this code, it is a code contains the parity information. Okay, that is the first thing that we should notice. Now the question is that how do we generate the code? Now the question is, how do we generate the code? How do we generate code? That is the second question. So that means that, for example, I have a message is something like this. For example, message is 1001. Message is there. How many number of bits are there in it? 3 bits are there. Sorry, 4 bits are there. Okay. I want to generate a Hamming code for this message information. So let me call this as a message signal. Message. Or this is the information that I have. So I don't want to send this message directly. Instead, I want to introduce some parity in this message with the help of Hamming code. So the question is that one single bit parity is not at all sufficient, as mentioned that, but multiple parity bits are required for securely transfer the information. All right. So in order to do this one, what I can do is that Hamming code is in this form. Hamming code follows this structure. What is that? N comma k structure it follows. So the N comma k code is also called as Hamming code. Okay, where N stands for total number of bits. Where k stands for the number of message bits. Right? So now where the parity will come into the picture, that means we have to add parity to this one. So in order to do the parity, number of parity bits, okay, so to get number of parity bits, what we have to do is that we can call it as P, for example. P is equal to N minus of K that I have to write. N minus K that I have to write. So that tells us that the number of parity bits that are required. So you may ask the question, sir, I don't know the total number of bits, then how can you calculate the parity information? That's true. So in order to get how many number of bits, okay, this is the one way of identifying that number of bits, number of parity bits, if the code is given. If the code is not given, how do we know that the number of parity bits? Okay, I think it is not a good time to represent this one. I think so. Okay, we will keep this one aside for the time being. Okay, let it be like that. What is there in it? So how do we find out the number of bits? Okay, so here we have to follow one condition. To find the number of parity bits, a condition must be satisfied. A condition must be satisfied. What is this condition? Okay, so the condition is something like this: 2 power of p is greater than or equal to p plus k plus 1. So actually, the person who has invented this Hamming code, his name is Hamming. So if you want to generate a Hamming code for any message bit, he suggested that this is what you have to follow. So these many number of parity bits are required in it. These many number of parity bits are required. So this must be satisfied. Okay. So for example, as I mentioned that, for example, message bits are 4. Message bits are 4. As I mentioned that it's a 4, which is nothing but a k, right? So therefore, what is the p now here now? Can you guess here? 2 power of p is required, which must be greater than or equal to p plus message bits are 4. 4 plus 1, that is 5, right? 2 power p is greater than or equal to p plus 5. So what value of the p will satisfy this condition? What value of this one is satisfy this condition?
3.
Yeah, 3, exactly 3. So therefore, if you put p is equal to 1, for example, then 2 power 1 is greater than or equal to 6. It's not valid. If it is 2, p is equal to 2 parity bits if you use, is it possible? 2 power 2 greater than or equal to 6? No, it is also not possible. 4 is not greater than or equal to 6. So if you consider the p is equal to 3, yeah, if you use the p 3 parity bits, then 2 power 3 is greater than or equal to 6. This is right? So therefore, this is how we say that, this is how we have to calculate the number of parity bits. Therefore, the number of parity bits are, equal to 3. Is it clear to all of you? So that is how we have to calculate the number of parity bits. Okay. So therefore, what is the total number of bits now again? So therefore, now total number of bits. Total number of bits. About now, code any bits how many number of bits will be there in this this code? The total number of bits in a code, in a Hamming code. How many number of the things are there? So this these are the 3 bits we have to add, and message bits are 4. Okay. So therefore, n is equal to p plus k. That's what we have tried. That's what the equation that we says that. Okay, this implies that 7 bits are required. So therefore, specifically, if you say that Hamming code is equal to 7, 4. So it is a 7, code actually. If anybody asks you that what is the code that we are using, this means this is how 7, 4 code. So therefore, we would like to discuss about the 7, 4 Hamming code. Okay. For example, in 7 bits channel. For example, if a message bit consisting of 7 bits, for example, 7 bits. Okay. For example, I'm sorry. For example, plus take it as a homework. If k is equal to 7 bits, what is the p value and what is the n value? Okay, take it as a homework. Just follow the procedure that I have defined there in it. Okay. Just we have to say the condition. Once the condition is satisfied, we get it's not necessary that equality. It's greater than also possible. Okay, fine. Now somehow we have seen that Hamming code is named as 7, 4. Fine. Okay, for a 4-bit of message information. Now, how do we place this parity information in the given message? The question is, so what is the first question that we have written? Yeah, and the next question is, how do we place this? How do we place these parity bits in message. Okay, in message signal or message bits in a message signal. You can also call this. Okay, so we have to follow some procedure. We have to follow procedure is there. Okay, so we have to follow the procedure. So as we know that everybody so far they can understand that we required 7 positions, 7 bits are required. Total number of bits are 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Agreed? So therefore I can say that if this is a one particular register, something like this, I can place something like this. Okay, now, so I know very well that the positions of where do I have to place my the message bit C in this particular register, okay, or this is the particular place, and where I need to place my parity information. So please remember that in order to place the parity information, please remember here, once we have a three bit of information, for example, P is P2, P1, P0, for example. So these are the parity informations, right? Agreed? So if you have a three lines are there, how many possible combinations that I can have? 8 possible combination. So, but instead of taking the 8 combinations, something like this we can consider 0, 0, sorry, instead of 0, 0, parity will be the 1. Next one is 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, something like this. So therefore, this is what actually the parity information, right? So if you want to have a parity information here, okay, yeah. So this parity information follows 2 power 0 position. It follows 2 power 1 position. It follows 2 power 2 positions. Okay, so please remember that here parity bits are occupied in powers of 2 positions. Powers of 2 positions. So that means 2 power some x. Okay. So therefore, 2 power 0 means 1, right? Agreed? 2 power. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So 2 power 0 is nothing but 1, right? That means here is the P naught is occupied. 2 power 2 power 1 means P1 is occupied here. 2 power square, 4th position, that is occupied here. Agreed? So the first and foremost important point is that parity bits occupies the powers of the 2 in a given register positions. Right? Now, whatever the remaining positions are there, those are occupied by data information. For example, data is D0, D1, D2, and D3. So therefore, whatever the data that I have considered, what is the data that I have considered? 1001 I have considered. 1001 I have considered. So therefore, the data, what is the data? D3, D3, D2, D1, D0. So I have taken from input. So 1001 I have taken here. So these D0, D1, D2, D3 are occupied those positions. P0, P1, P2 are occupied in their positions. Are you agree with me? So what I have, so how do we fix the positions of the message bits and parity information? Please respond, sending by chat message. The question is that how many number of, first question is how many number of parity bits are required based on the message signal. That is the first thing. Second thing is that where I have to place the message bits and parity information. That is the second point. So far, so good. Now, how do we, so for the message information, I have already taken 1001. But what about to calculate, how do we give the value to the P0, P1, P2? Okay, so now the question is that, the third question is that, so how do we give values to parity bits, parity positions are under, for example, parity positions. Okay, so don't confuse that this values belongs to this one, so keep it like this. Okay, so in order to do this one, we have to follow in this way. If you want to calculate P0, for example, okay, so what I have to do, you follow this diagram. Okay, so what is this diagram is this one. P0 is available at 1. For example, if you write a decimal equivalent of this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positions. So it occupies one position, third position, fifth position, seventh position, right? That means I have to take the positions of P0. Okay, and next position is third position, D0. Next position is fifth position consisting of D1, and seventh position is occupied by D3. Agreed? So how I am getting this one? So P0 is occupying the LSB position of the parity information. So whenever the minterms, okay, the minterm is the not word is not used here. Whenever you find a logic 1 in the given positions, those related information I need to consider. Okay, okay, that's it. Next, P1 I want to consider P1. So how do we get the P1 now? Please respond. So this one, this is here and here. And the second position information is required for us. What is the second position information? What is the second position information? P1. Next to D0 is required. Next to sixth position is required. D2 and D3 is required. Sorry, yeah, D2 and D3 is required. Agreed? That means we are interested on these two, second and third, these two are required, and these two are also required for P1. Okay, next P2. Can you guess P2? What about P2? So P2 requires this one. Here, 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 and here. Okay. So therefore, what positions are required for me to calculate the P2? Fourth position is required, and fifth position is required. D2 is required. D3 is required. Are you agree? What I have done? So in order to calculate the parity values to the parity positions, we have to take the information in this way. Okay, so far so good. So we know that, sir, yeah. If you want to calculate the P0, P1, P2, D0, D1, D0 to D3, we know very well. But what about P0? We don't know. So for that one, people will give what kind of parity. That means whenever the code is created person, the code created person will say that I am following the even parity, or I will follow the odd parity. You should say that which parity that you are interested to prepare a code. Okay, so assume even parity is considered. Even parity. So without this information, it is not possible to create the P0, P1, P2. Okay, so therefore, the P0 is nothing but, what is the information here we have given? P0 is put it here. What is the D0? Sorry, D0 and the 1 on the is a 1. What about D1 is also 0. What about D2? Sorry, D3 is a 1. So now if I say that the even parity, then what should be the value, bit value for the P0? Is 0 or 1? I want to make this entire information into even parity. If you do so, what is the P0 value I have to consider? Yes?
0, sir.
Yeah. Yes, exactly 0. Therefore, P0 will be 0. If you put P0 is equal to 0, and this is 1, this is 0, this is 1. So the total number of ones here is even. So that is how we have to make, that is how we have to keep P0 is equal to 0. Agreed? P0 is equal to 0. So that is how we have got the information about P0. Similarly, let us consider for the P1. Okay, so what about P1 now? P1 is required, D0, D2, and D3. What are the values here now? I think I could ask 1, 0, 0, 1. So D3, D2, D1, D0. So tell me what is the value of this one? What is the value I have to fix? P1 is required, okay. D0 is 1, D2 is 0, D3 is 1. Here also it is, if you make it even, P1 is also. Okay, next P2. Next P2. P2 required P2 into D1, D2, D3. What I have to write now? P2 is required, okay. P2 into what are all these things? 1, 0, 0. Then I have to write order different. 0, 0, 1. So what is value then? P2 is equal to Chapala 1, right? So P2 must be equal to 1. So because the P2 consisting of only even odd number of ones available, I want to make it even number by applying the P2 is 1. Okay, so therefore I can write therefore parity values is equal to P3, P2, P1, P0 is equal to 1, 0, 0. Therefore, Hamming message is, what we can say that? Hamming message, so I have to consider 8 bits here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what is the parity information? First parity information, that is 0. Second parity is 0. Third one is here. I can say that here. Remaining all are positions are 1, 0, 0, 1. Is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you? How we have make the Hamming message by using the Hamming code. Okay, this information we have to send it through the channel. Okay, then the receiver will take that one and he will decode whether the message is given message is a correct message or not. Okay, so far so good. So this entire process is called generation of Hamming code. So this entire process is called generation of Hamming code. Okay. Now, now let us see some crucial points here. So as I mentioned that Hamming code is it is used as a error detecting code. So it is used as error detecting code. Error detecting code. And people also say that correcting code also. Error correcting code. How do we do this one? How do we do this one? Okay. For example, in a given code, so received code, something like this, received 11011100. So that is what the code is received. We would like to send the information in this way. Okay. So just let us cross check whether this is how it is detecting that code error in a particular bit, and how it will be corrected. So for example, something like this, but I receive at the receiver end, I got this is the information. Okay, as a human, because I am a designer, I know that yeah, the sixth position is the problem, but the circuit has to identify this problem. How do we do this one? So therefore, the circuit is doing something like this. First of all, it identifies the parity information for this one. So what is the parity information here now? P0, P1, P2. P0, P1, P2 will be calculated. So what is the P0, P1? So we know very well that this is the first position, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Immediately it will be decode that seventh position, sixth position, fifth position, third position are message bits or messages. So therefore this is a 1, 1, 0, 1. Okay. This is the message positions, message bit positions, right? Next. What is the next one? We say that parity positions are 4, 2, 1. So these are the parity positions. What the information is there here? What information is there here? 1, 0, 0 information is there. Okay. So this is the parity information, parity. So as I mentioned that the sender will say that I am sending the even parity information, assumed even parity, even parity. So what we have to write is that we have to take the P0 value. So what is the value of this one? P0, how do we define P0? The positions of 1, positions of 2, positions of 4. Sorry, I'm sorry, it's not like that. So what are the positions? Position 1 is required. 1 bit position, after 1 bit 3 is required. After we have to leave 1 bit, 5 is required and 7 is required. Simply, it is very simple actually. So we have to keep 1 position is left. So 1 position is left. So we have to use only 1. Oh my God. So, okay. 1, this is 1 position, 3rd position, 5th position, 7th positions are required. So for that one, what is this value? 1, 0, 1, 0. So therefore, it have to identify that whether it is a even parity or odd parity. It is even parity. Therefore, we have to check mark for this one. It is an even parity. So it follows the even parity. It follows the even parity. Next one is, what is the next one? Next one is P1. So the second bit positions are required. First 2 are required, right? 2, 3 is required. 2, 3, 6, 7. So that means we have to use 2 positions. Okay, therefore we have to use these 2 positions. These 2 positions are required. Okay, it's not possible to look at these 2 positions. Like this, these 2 positions are required. 2 positions. So what is this value then? This is 0, 1, 1, 1. Is it a even parity? No, it is not even parity. Therefore, there is a problem here. There is a problem here. So next, immediately next one is the next one is 4, 5, 6, and 7. So what is this value then? Again, 1, 0, 1, 1. It is also not possible. So therefore, by looking at P0, P1, P2, so here actually what is the parity here? Parity is equal to 0. Okay, P0 is equal to 0. Here the P1 is equal to even parity చేయడానికి ఇక్కడ 1 అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడ ఎంత అవుతుంది? 1 apply చేయాలా. So what we have to say that since P0, P1, P2 are not equal to 0, we say that the code is having some error. Code has got error. So code has got some error. So that's how we have to identify the error. So, but in the receiver end that I'm talking about, and the receiver end P0, P1, P2 must be 0, which means that all must be even parity has to follow, because we have sent even parity only, but they are getting the odd parity, right? So that's how we have to think about it. So this is how we need to know that this is how the error is detected. So what we can write it here now. So this is how error is detected. The error is detected. Agreed? So the error is detected in this way. Now, what is the position it has got an error? Okay, which position it has got? So to find which position has got an error, Okay, so for that one, we are going to use parity information. This is called parity P2, P1, P0. So what is this value that we have got now? Therefore, this is a 1, 1, 0 that we have got. Clearly, you can see here. So you can see here, so 0, 1, 1. So from MSB to LSB, I have written. So this position, it's binary equivalent position. So this position has got an error. This position has got an error, right? So what is this equivalent, decimal equivalent of this one? It is the 6th position. 6th position. So we have to go to the 6th position. Okay, and what is the 6th position information that I have got? This information is 11011111101100. So therefore, received message is equal to 11011101. Right? This is only the information. No, last is also the 1. Last is must be 0. Okay, ఇది మనకు వచ్చింది. So therefore, what I have to do is that I found that there is a 6th position. This is the 6th position, right? So this 6th position has got some error. So I have to change that one. What I have to do is that, I have to generate syndrome, error syndrome. So this is what the error syndrome. So this is called the message bit R. Therefore, error syndrome is E. Let us consider. So what is this value? We have to keep this is the 1, and we have to keep all the remaining things at 0. So this is how we have to create the syndrome. Wherever you find a position is error, then we have to keep the 1, remaining all are 0. So we have to perform. So correct message is nothing but it is the exclusive OR operation between these two. So what is the exclusive OR operation? As previously I told, 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. If suppose something like this, A and B, what is the A XOR B means? 0 1 1 0. This is what we can say. If the two are equal, 0 will be there. If the two are opposite, 1 will be there. Okay, so what is the correct message now? So here is the 0 0 1 1 0 0 1. So this is what the correct message that we have sent in the previously. Okay, so this is what the correct message. So this is how we have to correct the code also. Agreed to all of you? Agreed? So So this is what the Hamming code that is used to find the error detection, generation of the code, detection of the code, correcting the code. Okay, so therefore, what is the conclusion now? Conclusion is by using Hamming code, it is possible to. So number one is Hamming message can be generated. Hamming message can be generated. The second one is use it to detect errors where exactly the error is there, and it is possible to correct the error. Agreed? So that's what we can do. Okay, so this is what the today's topic, and one point I want to discuss from the previous class is quickly I want to do it here. So the next one is arithmetics based on codes. Usually what codes are that we normally use to perform the arithmetic operation? The first one is BCD codes. We normally consider the BCD code. The next one we considered XS3 code. Okay, so XS3 code. So what do you mean by this one? So we have decimal numbers I have given. So I'm able to perform the addition subtraction. If binary digits that I have given, I'm able to do that one. What if the data is available in BCD? For example, I'm writing BCD 7 and 2 I have given. Sorry. For example, BCD 5, 3 I have given. So for example, it's a BCD number. Okay, BCD. This is the BCD. This is also BCD. What is the result of this one? If you add these two things, the result is 8. It is also a BCD. It is also a BCD number. So I don't have any problem. But what if 7, 6 I'm adding? It is let us consider this is the BCD. This is also BCD. What I'll get here? 7 and 6. How do I get? What is the value? 13, right? 13. So is that 13 is a valid BCD digit? It's not a valid BCD number. BCD numbers are starting from, what are the BCDs? BCDs are starting from 0 to 9 only. But 13 has come into the 13 has come into the picture. So it's not a valid BCD. Not a valid BCD. So it's not a valid BCD. How do you make this bit is a valid BCD? Then what I have to do is that I have to add +6 to this one. Okay, so therefore let us consider the arithmetics for this. Okay, so by looking at this one, I can say that it's a BCD number. Okay, fine. 1 is a 1 BCD, 3 is also BCD, but it is converted into binary decimals, binary information. What is the binary information? 7 equivalent BCD. How many digits are required? 4 digits are required. So to code 0 to 9, 4 bits are required for BCD, as we have seen previously. Like 6, if you consider, what is value? 0, 1, 1, 0. If you add all these two things, what will happen? So 1, 0 carry is 1, some 1 carries also 1, and here is the 1. So what is this value? So it's a 4-bit only, but it's not a valid BCD. So it becomes 13, right? So what I have to do, not valid BCD. So what I have to do is that we have to add +6 to this. So what I have to do, what I'm going to do here is that I have to add +6 to it. Now I have to perform the addition operation. Now what is the value here now? It's the 1, is 1, 0. It is the 1, 0. This is the 1. So this is a valid BCD. It is a valid BCD. So how can you say that this is a valid BCD? So these 4 bits are I'm going to use for the purpose of one BCD, and this bit is used for another BCD. So what I can write it here now? So this is actually I'm writing This is actually I'm writing 3. This is I'm writing 1. So 1 means it is also having, we have to represent it by 3 zeros adjacent to this one. It doesn't change the value. Okay. So therefore, altogether, this is a 4 bits. Altogether, this is called a 4 bits. So therefore, 1 is a BCD valid number. 3 is also a BCD valid number. So this is how we have to represent this is 1. Okay, it's a valid BCD. So, but the 1101 is not a valid number. Okay. So that will be, for example, 732. Okay, 546. 543, for example. Okay, instead of doing this, I'll write 477. I want to add this one. What will happen then? So please wait if you complete this one, we'll do. Okay, 7, how do we do this one? 7 for 7, 0, 1, 1, 1, 3, 0, 1, 1, 2, 0, 1, 0, right? 7 equivalent is I have written. And what about the 4 equivalent? 0, 1, 0, 0. 7 equivalent 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. I'm sorry, it is not 4 bits I have to write, right? So I need to write 4 bits. 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. Now this one is 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. So if I want to add, what I'll get? 1, I need to take 1, 0, here is the carry is the 1, 0, carry is the 1, 1 is updated here. So here is 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1 here. So here is the 1, 1, 0, 1. This is the 1. So is it a valid BCD? What is the equivalent of this 1, 1? This is the 1. It 9 is representing. Fine. We don't find it's not a problem. 8 plus 2, 10. 10 is not a valid BCD. What about this one? 8, 10, 11. 11 is not a valid BCD. So first one is only the valid BCD. Remaining things are not valid BCD. Then what I have to do? I have to add plus 6 to which one is not valid BCD. So 10 is not a valid BCD that I want to write 0, 1, 1. 11 is not a valid BCD. I will write it 1 and 0. And it is not required, therefore, just for sake of simplicity, I'm writing all zeros. Okay, so plus 6 must be added. Those digits are not valid BCD digits. Okay, agreed? Now let us perform the addition operation between these two. So what is happening here now? 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay. Next, what about this? 0, 0, 1 is here. 2 ones, 0, and sum is here. Carry there, this here, and it is coming at this point. Now, what about this? This is 0. This is 1. So all ones, 1 and 1. 2 ones, 0 and 1. This is 0 and this is 1. So this is now valid one. So whatever the value of this one now, we know that 9, this is 0, this is 2, this is 1. So this is the valid BCD number. So is it true or not? Let us verify. Okay, 732477. What is value? 9. If you add these strings, 10 will come here. This is a 12. Agreed? So this one and this one is the same. So, but we have to do in this way. Please remember that the BCD addition, and when time comes, so we will discuss about the access3 operation also. With this, we have completely completed the module number 1. Okay, we haven't skipped anything. Okay, please go through the things. I have uploaded all the videos in the given links. You please follow that one. I'll upload this one also in the Moodles, and please try to write the exam in a systematic manner. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.